Every day is not, a wonderful, upbeat day, but overall, my career as a law enforcement officer has been very fulfilling. I'm proud of it, and I'm proud to tell my daughter I'm a police officer. I have no regrets.
And if, in fact, we are the emphasis on our educational system, and if things we need are there, then we need to get good teachers and we need to pay them so that they'll go in that classroom and build a relationship with kids and make a difference in kids' lives.
Do you have any traffic?
You're on the midnight detail with the St. Louis County, Missouri Police Department. In this particular cruiser is Cynthia Golden, a veteran police officer. Up until now, the night has been cool with a light breeze and very uneventful. Up until now.
Call came from Hardy's restaurant stating that the mobile station next door is being robbed.
There is a call for an armed robbery at a fast food restaurant. At first, the radio traffic is uncertain footing. Either there has been an armed robbery.
Okay, they do. It is a robbery.
There's one in progress.
The robbery you're stating. 7-4 until we find out what it is.
Okay, he's saying hold the station until we know what it is.
Or not.
See, it could be nothing. You can't get excited because now this is a citizen saying that it's been robbed.
But as Cynthia Golden wheels up to the scene, it becomes clearer quickly.
Oh, they might have something. Yep. Yep.
She makes fast tracks for the obvious center of action, a filling station next to a fast food restaurant.
So both of them were in the car, and I'll testify anytime,
Then, Cynthia Golden, or perhaps we should be totally accurate, Lieutenant Cynthia Golden, takes charge.
He's been thoroughly searched. Okay, who's going to transport him? To the precinct, okay. 3190.
You see, she has recently received a promotion, and with it, has made a little history. Lieutenant Golden is the first black woman ever to achieve such a high rank with her department.
I want to say on one hand that it wasn't difficult, but it wasn't easy either, because this department has a lot of qualified people, and it's competitive, and you have to work very hard, and I'm willing to put out that amount of work, but it makes you very much aware that you have to work really hard, and you have to do something to make yourself recognized. I acquired the education that I felt was necessary, and then I had to come to the forelight.
At a crime scene such as this, her entire focus is on remaining calm, the only way she feels she can set an example for the men and women who serve under her.
My men would have no respect for me if I came on scenes like this and I was all out of control, or any supervisor. It has nothing to do with my being a woman. You must. You know how if you get excited, how you don't think as well? When you study concentration to make sure you are calm. They can pull together most of the ends themselves, but I have to make sure that the support units are called, things like that, in case they don't think to do it.
She tries to set that example the moment her shift starts.
I prepare myself to stand before my platoon because I'm going to set the pace, how they go out on the street, how they greet the public. And I try very hard to be jovial. They know that I'm the lieutenant. They know that I'm in charge. I don't have to demean them. I don't have to talk down to them. And I try to send them out on the street with a good attitude. All of us should be aware of the neighborhood problems that stem from 6726 Leslie Marie. Are you all aware that Larry Moses is wanted for burglary? Tammy Hayes, black, female, DOB of 2459. We need to pay particular attention to this address. He has an extensive record. He's on parole for assault first, shooting at a Riverdale police officer in 1985. Have any of you seen this operator's license of this photograph? Any questions? Any comments? Any information to pass on? Okay, if none, let's fall in for inspection. If I see that there's one of them that maybe's having a little bad day, I pull him aside and I say, hey, you better perk up or cheer up, or can I help you with something? If this job demands that, you know. You'd hate to think that you came to work really in a good mood and the lieutenant came to roll call and it was like, whoa, you know, what is wrong with him or her? I have an obligation to be always at my best disposition.
And during her shift, Lieutenant Golden displays the utmost professionalism, not only with other officers, but also with the alleged criminals they arrest.
You ran a good distance. 10-4, you can cancel the signal, however, the subject and vehicle are still wanted for this attempt robbery.
10-4.
So are you going to show us where Judge Gerhardt's house is? Where you, this other
That's his
signal?
son, ma'am.
Station will be 10-8.
Okay.
My buddy just dropped me off, and I was going to call my sister, and he was going to go by his son's house.
For the robbery,
Okay.
36.
Let's go. So just stay relaxed. Nothing bad's going to happen to you. We have to get both sides of the story, as the sergeant's probably told you.
Her profession, her determination, spirit, and gutsiness all began to take shape at age 5 when her mother died. Her father, unable to rear his 3 children and earn a living, turned over the little girl's upbringing to an aunt. And in her household, education was just part of the natural flow.
Growing up, I was raised by an aunt. She was an educated woman, and I just assumed that's what you did in life. You went to college and you got an education, and education was a good thing, a necessary thing. Any officer can patrol. Any officer can respond to calls. You know, that's not going to get you recognized. I try to do an excellent job when I receive special assignments. I just don't want to be stagnant. I read all the time. I just want to be knowledgeable. I want to be well-read. I just want to know things.
Law enforcement was not necessarily on Mrs. Golden's mind when she entered college. Law was.
I wanted to be an attorney, and I thought, well, I'll pursue a career as a police officer until I get enough money to pay off my undergraduate debt, and then I'll go to law school.
Taking advantage of government monies available for police officers who wanted to further their education, she earned a master's degree, but never did go on to law school.
I did get a master's degree, but I'll probably always regret to some extent not becoming an attorney, but I love law enforcement. I love being a police officer, so I've always been happy doing it.
The constant element of danger in the profession causes her greatest concern for the public she serves and the officers who serve in her platoon.
Male subject has just shot and killed 2 police officers after taking away one of the officers' weapons.
Just living every day can be dangerous. It can be dangerous for me to go shopping. It's no more dangerous than the general population. I'm safer because I know what some of the problems are in society, so I feel I try and live with a little more precaution.
And being a police officer means the shift can be routine. It can even be monotonous.
Store water, prepare for aftershocks, prepare for 3 days of no services. You got 90 minutes of light left. You better make use of your time.
But when anything goes wrong, is out of place, or needs a helping hand, there is always a police officer eventually on the scene. Furthermore, that officer unquestionably has a high school degree, and in many cases is either working towards or has a college degree too.
Because you have that lethal power of life and death, so you need to be exposed to people in a classroom situation, to education, to what's going on in the world, to changes, what's happening, so you understand the psychology of people and how society is changing, so you don't get burdened down with the negative aspects of this job. So if that means you're continually in a classroom learning and educating yourself, then that's what I meant by that. You must always, never get stagnant. Continue to learn, continue to get educated.
Remember, too, that law enforcement is a lot more in the 1990s than old shoot-'em-up movies. Police officers fill vital support roles, each of which requires specialized training.
Any area. You know, you can bring all of those specialties with you, like my department has probably 22 specialized units. We have chemists, so, you know, we have helicopter pilots. Just any degree will apply to law enforcement because education makes you well-rounded. It enables you to deal with people, and that's what we're looking for. Even school teachers, if you have a degree in education, you know, we have instructors at the police academy.
Would you make a good police officer? Well, are you even-tempered? Do you have a clear head, a good eye for details? Do you like working with the public? Are you cool in a crisis situation? Are you in good shape? If you wear eyeglasses, can your vision be corrected to 20/20? And are you compassionate?
I worked long hours like a lot of other people, and I worked at home. I worked hard on things because I was trying to get a reputation that when you gave me an assignment, I not only completed it on time, but I did it well.
A police officer works a 40-hour week, and the job doesn't end with a shift. You're on call 24 hours a day. As an officer, when you see a problem in uniform or not, you're expected to respond. You can make good money, especially in the big cities, but probably not great money anywhere.
So some people would probably say that I make, a lot of money, but to me, a lot of money is 6 digits, and I don't make 6 digits. But I really don't. I need the money to pay my bills and to meet my financial obligations, but to me, it's not just totally about money. Again, I'm doing something I enjoy.
Many jurisdictions will give you incentive pay for education and training achievements, but the job can be very stressful. For many officers, you don't just leave it all behind at quitting time. Still, benefits such as pensions and insurance plans are good. Some officers can retire at half pay after 20 to 25 years of service. But it's all up to you. First, without a high school education, there's no chance. The city of Chicago, for instance, recently accepted just over 1,000 of 8,000 who applied for their police academy. So that high school degree is mandatory. An associate degree or bachelor's degree in criminal justice or law enforcement is becoming a door opener too. Plus courses in public relations, psychology, sociology, communications, chemistry, English, and even a foreign language such as Spanish or Chinese or Japanese. Police officers are special people with a very special trust and extraordinary responsibility. Cynthia Golden knows that for a fact.
I have a husband, a mate, whether it would be a wife or a husband. So our combined incomes allow us to live modestly. But this is what I want to do. Can you imagine going to a job that I hate every day, or office, or a situation that gives me ulcers or whatever? See, I love this job. I like coming in here. I like being a supervisor. I love the county police department. I have a good life. Now, I may not make a lot of money, but I'm having a lot of fun.
Their faces are unblemished by time. So too are their minds. They are young, eager, and inquisitive. And whether just learning how to write their name or studying the nuts and bolts of business economics, what transpires here will impact these students for the rest of their lives. Most importantly, so too will the person these youngsters call teacher.
Wednesday, happy days. Thursday, Friday, happy days. Saturday, what a day.
The people came in, said, we want to buy this. We said, we'll sell it to you. It was on account. We credit sales and we debit accounts receivable.
You were a seed and you had these little roots from kindergarten and preschool. And now, boys and girls, we can't believe it, can we? But we're growing and blooming into this beautiful garden.
These are the only 2 entries that you put in the cash payments journal for which you do not write a check. I guess the influence I'm having on young people, the opportunity to work with people and to make a difference. And I don't think you can trade that and that happiness for any amount of money.
If you have the gift of teaching, you have to use it, and it just makes you come alive. And when you're with children and you see them, you're giving them life. You're giving them their future. And there's not any money that can compare with it to see what happens with children in a classroom and learning.
Jim and Sue Seifert have a lot more in common than a love for each other, one resulting in marriage.
Because every day is a rainbow day here in Rainbow Corners, isn't it? And don't forget, on Monday is going to be Cowboy Day, so get on your
gear and come on down to the Rainbow Roundup.
They also have a love for working with children, something which led them to pursue careers in the classroom.
How do we help you get better at what you do?
Jim works with high school students, Sue first graders. But for some 20 years, they have worked hard to leave a positive impression on each and every mind that's graced their classrooms.
I feel it's a gift of teaching, and the person has it within them, and then you need to be placed in the right area. I don't know, there are some teachers that seem that they can teach a whole bunch of things, but you need to know your area content. You need to be updated in it. But the main thing in my area is love of children and understanding children.
One has to go into it with wanting to work with young people. If you don't want to be around young people, then whatever the other reasons are secondary, and they shouldn't enter into it. We don't owe them $52.90 of this original $589 anymore. And that comes up to $3.36. They've given you the tax all the way through. The sales stays the same. You got this far, you did real well. What journal are we going to make an entry in? The cash payments, unless they're willing to take jelly beans or something from it, right?
There's a lot of preparation which goes into these daily chalk talk sessions with students. Teachers spend a minimum of 9 to 20 hours a week in class. Office hours, faculty meetings, advising, and class preparation add 30 to 40 additional hours to their week. To excel in this field takes commitment and dedication. Jim Seifert has that. Years ago, he gave up a lucrative job in the corporate world and turned to teaching. He took a sizable pay cut, but gained career satisfaction that money can't buy.
You can quote a number of different studies and interviews and so forth, but you go out on the street and ask 100 people if they like what they're doing. And that percentage of people who dislike most, if not all, of their waking hours spent on the job, who dislike that, it's going to be very high. 40 to 80% are going to say, no, I don't like it. I don't like what I do. I'm unhappy with this. I wish I didn't do that. And I can truthfully say that in 20 years of teaching, I've never said that.
Now on that tree, there was a branch.
Singing about trees and natures may seem elementary, but it's all part of the learning process for these youngsters. And Sue Seifert's class is also her stage, a theater of information and entertainment where she plays a starring role.
Soon you're going to be like the little birds and you're going to fly right over the rainbow and rainbow corners to summer fun. Check? Because you have done your BEST and now you can REST rest.
Rang out in space. One morning I came to this glorious place. This is so much a part of me. It seems like it's always being created within me and from what I'm seeing. So yes, sometimes from other teachers, from things I read, but a lot of times it's just from what I feel that they need to learn, and then the ability just comes from within me, the creative power to just be able to know what to do.
If we're looking at teachers, what should we ultimately be judging? How do we make the teaching, learning process better?
Making that process better requires a lot of things. But if this teacher were to write them out for his students, they would include the following key words: desire to work with children, caring, honest, dedication, fairness.
If I can build relationships with those people that make a difference in their lives, that maybe will change their outlook on one item, that you can later on say, answer the phone, and it's a former student who's calling back and saying, Doc, I just want you to know I got my doctorate, or I got my CPA, or I got my whatever. Yeah, I learned other things when I went to the university, but I want you to know I got my start and my love for it in your class. And I want you to know what I've done so far. I'm going to go to work for X company, and I want to thank you for that. And that means a lot. That doesn't put bread on the table. That doesn't take the place of money, but it means a lot.
With that satisfaction comes increasing financial rewards. Slowly, salaries for people like Jim and Sue have climbed upward over the years. And while you won't get rich teaching, enriching these students offers challenges and rewards some can never find in the business world.
I try to stay current. I try to stay young myself. I try to stay relatively vibrant and interesting, knowing that you know, I'm not necessarily going to go in and stand on my head and do all these kinds of different things. But yeah, I might, you know, if I can get them interested in a different program, if I can interest them in a speaker, if I can interest them in you know, any number of things, whatever it takes to get them involved.
Some 20 years ago, Jim Seifert took the plunge, diving headfirst from the corporate world into the classroom. His wife Sue did the same. Today, their contributions are measured here in the minds and faces of their impressionable students. The Seiferts don't just teach, they mold, build, inject themselves into the lives of their pupils. They can and do make a difference. No doubt about it, if minutes were memories and memories money, Jim and Sue Seifert would be millionaires.
I've never looked back. I've never regretted it. I like what I do.